Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to the Whiskey Cove. And on today's episode, we have a massive whiskey stall coming your way. Run the video. All right then folks, thank you for joining us for another new and exciting episode here on the Whiskey Cove, where we will be delving into a massive whiskey store. I have bottles from just about everywhere here, some really great bottles as well. We've been very fortunate the last month or two. We'll go into each and every one of them. With that being said, we're doing a 10,000 subscriber giveaway. Go down below after this video to check out those descriptions. Some great bottles of whiskey to be given away. With that being said, these are some of the bottles that we managed to kill off. 1.75 litre double rye from High West. I don't think I'll be replacing that. That was just a little bit that we had left over from a Midwinter Nights dram blend that we did. We also finished the Wood Finishing Series Whiskey Cove blend, which was all the Wood Finishing Series blended together. We managed to kill that off. Also killed off the blended malt. This is the pint size. This is a distillery only bottle. A bottle we got when we were in Kentucky the last time. Also a New Riff malted 6-year rye we killed off. As you can see, we had a lot of friends around this month, or the last few months. Also an Elijah Craig toasted barrel. And then finally the 13th Colony Cask Strength. So we've managed to kill off quite a lot of bottles this month, and we needed to do that because we needed to make room for all this stuff. With that being said, let's take a look at what we were able to pick up. So these are going to be in no particular order. However, we will leave the best one for last. So whilst we were down in Texas, actually, because we came back through Texas on the way back to Colorado, I picked up two of these guys. And these are Doc Swinson straight rye whiskey finished in Peter Quarter Scotch casks. So I've only ever seen them in Texas. I don't know how many barrels they did, but it must have been a very, very small batch, maybe 2, maybe 3. We had one recently, which we picked up in Texas, and we drank through it. It was very, very good. So there was only 2 on the shelf, so we bought these 2. They were a really great price. I think it was like $60. I believe it was Liquor King in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So very happy we were able to pick those 2 up. Also as well, we have an Elijah Craig Grenade we picked up from the Heaven Hill Distillery in Kentucky. You can only get these in Kentucky there at the Heaven Hill Distillery. I have one over my shoulder. They have a couple down there. Every time I'm down in Kentucky, I have to get one of those. They're the best Elijah Craigs that I've ever tasted. Next up, when we have 2 Wild Turkeys. We have a Wild Turkey 70th anniversary, and then we have Wild Turkey 101 8th year. So we picked this up in Arkansas as we were going through, and then we picked this up in Elizabethtown in Kentucky. Paid $45 for this, paid about $49 for this. Great value for money. I think that's right around MSRP on both of them. This 70th anniversary bottle, you're not going to see another 70th anniversary. So anytime I see these for MSRP, I'm definitely picking them up. Looks a little like that. And then this 8th year, 101 8th year, this used to be only an international bottle. I have a 1 litre bottle around here somewhere. It's very good stuff. I wonder if this is going to taste the same. I assume that it will be. This is like a 101, what it was probably a few years ago, before they started holding some of those barrels back. But for $45, I think that's a pickup every single time. Next up here, we have a box to bring up. That is this box that is kind of mangled at this point. So every time we go to the Maker's Mark Distillery, we definitely pick up one of these bad boys. So that's one of their store picks that they have there. This one is the Vanilla Bean Cheesecake from April 2024. So I don't know if they've had it for a while, or that's just when they picked it and pulled it out. It has a bunch of different flavor profiles in terms of the different stave profiles, I should say. I love these Maker's Mark single barrel picks, and I love it when I go down there and pick some of them up, because they always seem to hold back some really fun and interesting ones. And we always open it on the trip as well. Sometimes we even get close to killing them, but that's half of all of that done, and it's very, very good. Like I said, strawberry cheesecake has a lot of berry and caramel vanilla notes. It's a fantastic pick. Also, while we were down in Dallas, we managed to pick up 2 of these. These are the Buffalo Trace White Dogs. I think I paid like $20 a bottle of these. Coming in at 62.5% ABV or 125 proof. We might do like a little bit of an experiment or a video in the future, see if I can tell the difference blindfolded between these and the regular Buffalo Trace. So we shall see what we will do with those if we don't drop them and break them first. Also as well, we have another 101 8th year. We picked up 2 of these while we were down in Elizabethtown. This is this was also the same price, around that $45 mark. So I bought 2 of those, very happy with that amount. I probably am not going to look in for some here in Colorado. Also as well, from Cheers Wine and Spirit, we picked up this guy. This is a Black Old Forester H5. I can't even remember where this place was. Cheers Wine and Spirit. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank here. I know that I wouldn't have paid more than $60 for it. So how much was it? I have a bunch of receipts there. I'm not going to go through every single one right now, as we will be here forever. However, I definitely wouldn't have gone over $60. Great bottle of whiskey in terms of the Black Label or Foresters. Very, very, very tasty stuff. 50% ABV or 100 proof, right in line with what I like there. Happy that I was able to get that. Also managed to pick up this Elijah Craig private barrel from Freeman's Liquor Store. Again, I don't remember which store this was. That's all I know, that it is Freeman's. Oh, I know where this was. This was Oklahoma City. That's where we picked this up. This is Rick House K Float 4. This is aged 9 years. You don't really see these small batch picks anymore, or the private barrel picks that are lower proof. It's mostly the higher stuff. However, we are starting to see the 47% ABV ones starting to roll out now a little bit more than what they used to. One more bottle from this box. There's this Hard Truth Rye finished in toasted French oak casks, the Mellencamp Whiskey Company. So very happy that I was able to get this. I've been looking for a good Hard Truth for a while, like a limited edition one. I picked this up from Frugal McDougal in Nashville, Tennessee for $82.30. So very happy that I was able to get this, something a little unique, something different that we'll not really ever get in Colorado. Next up, and whilst we were in Nashville, we visited the Southern Collective Spirit Company, and that is this guy. This looks a little bit like that. They waxed it to my specifications, black and yellow, black and gold, and this is a honey barrel. So this is a single barrel rye whiskey finished in a honey cask, 58.9% ABV, 117.8 proof, bottle 1 of 1. So very unique in that sense. We were able to try it specifically from the cask. So I'm very happy about this bottle because I got to try it first before I bought it. This was right at about $90 or so, $90 to $100 depending on taxes and whatnot. But we went down there. They were really kind to us. Let me try a bunch of different barrels, so the least I could do is buy a bottle. So if you're in the Nashville area, definitely go and check out Southern Collected Spirits. This is aged at least 8 years, so a good age statement there too. And just in case anybody wanted to know, this is distilled in Kentucky. So it's rye, 8 years old, distilled in Kentucky. So I'm not sure what that is, but however, sounds pretty tasty to me. Next up, and we have another box here, and let's do these three together. And these are some Old Forester 117 series. So two of these are extra old, and then one of them is Warehouse I barrels. So the Warehouse I barrels is 47.5% ABV, and the extra old is 46.5%. I paid $69.99. I didn't get these from the distillery. I actually got them from Jacko's liquor store around the Elizabethtown area. So happy that I was able to get these right at the same price, or maybe even a little bit less than what you would pay at the distillery in Louisville. Yes, they are the pint-sized bottles, but just not something we can get here in Colorado. So that will tie me over for a little while. And also, whilst I was at that same store, I bought this bottle. There's a specific reason for that, because I was able to get this bottle. So if you're someone who's from the Elizabethtown area, you'll know that Jacko's tend to sell their stuff together. So if I wanted to buy this for $79.99, which is a single barrel pick, looks a little something like that, this OWA, then I had to buy a bottle. They were trying to sell me a Penelope Toasted. And I said I didn't want that. I didn't want to buy something I didn't want to drink. And then I said, what about this Penelope Wheated? Because, you know, anybody who watches the channel knows how much I like this bottle. And he said, yes, we will do that. So I think I paid like $38 for that. And I was able to pick this up then for $80. So although I didn't go in there trying to get a Penelope Wheated, I think that's a good deal. I'll definitely be buying more of that Penelope Wheated anyway. So why not make a deal out of it too? Next up, we were at the Jim Beam Distillery, and that is because we picked up Jim Beam White Label. A bottle of Jim Beam White Label. Why did I pick up a bottle of Jim Beam White Label, you might be asking? Well, there's a very good reason for that, and that is because I got to meet Booker. Booker No, he was there. Booker No, Freddie No, I should say. Freddie No, and he signed the bottle for me right there, which was very nice of him. He was already out the door, but I asked him if he could sign it before he leaves, and he said yes. So I've been meaning to buy a regular OG bottle of Jim Beam, and now I have the signature. It might just be a collective item that we'll just sit on it for a little while. Maybe we'll drink it and keep the bottle. I haven't decided that. Next up, we have a bottle of Jack Daniel single barrel proof rye. Let me get rid of this box. So why did I pick up this bottle? So I had someone pick this up for me, friend of the channel, friend of Charles. He was able to give me the hookup on this bottle. So this is, like, again, the barrel proof rye, 67.25% ABV, 134.5 proof. This is coming in from barrel number 24-01414. And if anybody knows about any of the barrel houses, this is barrel 1-09, which is one of the warehouses, the barrel houses on Coy Hill. So apparently I'm told this is very, very good stuff. This cost me high 80s, so it's a great bottle to add to the collection. I can say, you know, this is a bottle from the Coy Hill Mountain, or the Coy Hill there down at Jack Daniel's distillery, and we'll see if it's any better than the regular barrel proof Jack Daniel's that I have. We have one more box left. When we were out and about, we picked up the new Maker's Mark, the Keeper's release, the 2025 release, because I haven't seen them here in Colorado. And quite frankly, last year when they put out the Heart release, that was quite hard to get here. So I picked this up for $79.99. I haven't got into it yet, so we'll see what it's like. This is bottle number 2 out of 5 of this current wood finishing series. Next up, we have another Weller 107. So this is actually a local one here in Colorado. This is from Hazel's in Boulder. We were fortunate enough that when we were here, before we left for our road trip, I went up there and I asked if they had any of these picks left, because they dropped that day, and they said yes, they have a few bottles in the back. So the gentleman grabbed me a bottle. So OWA seems to be the Weller of the choice this month. And we only ever get the OWA, seems like, picks here in Colorado. I rarely will see or hear about them just dropping the regular 107. However, I think that the single barrel picks are just that little bit better. We went to Neat, which is a bottle store in Louisville. They are also making one, or really, opening one there in Bardstown, Kentucky. And they had some of this E.H. Taylor small batch for $45, so I had to pick that up. But that's not the reason why we went into Neat. We went in to pick up these two guys. So this is a Blanton's. This is the Japanese only release. This is kind of like the red, if you like. And I paid a decent amount of money for this. This is more expensive than MSRP, but less than secondary. The same with this Four Roses as well. This is the Four Roses Super Premium. And this is, again, only for export outside of the US market. And again, I can't remember, I'll have to look for my receipts, but I paid less than secondary, more than MSRP. However, these are only available in like the Japanese market, so we'll see what they're like. Now we have quite a decent amount of different Blantons here. I think it might be time to do a side-by-side video. This Four Roses, very excited to see what this can do. However, Charles, that bourbon dude, has told me don't get too excited, so we'll hold my breath on that one. We also have another bottle that we picked up from the Evan Williams Experience, and this is this guy here. I picked this up because this is a 9-year Evan Williams single barrel vintage. So when I like to go to distilleries, I like this, even if they're just like a Four Roses pick from Four Roses and an Evan Williams pick from Evan Williams. Yes, it might just be a regular Evan Williams single barrel. However, I have this maybe untruthful belief in a way, because nothing backs it up. I just feel like, you know, they might only put up good barrels of whiskey at their own spot. You know, if people are coming to Evan Williams to drink Evan Williams, to buy Evan Williams single barrels, you're going to put up probably some of your best tasting barrels, and that's my firm belief, and that has kind of been a little bit corroborated by some of the other picks that I've had from distilleries in the past. So like a 9-year pick, we paid a little more than I'd like for these. I think this was about $55 out the door, but everything on Whiskey Road down in Louisville and Kentucky is just massively overpriced anyway, so that's what you'll be paying for it. One bottle left, and that is a bottle from Heaven Hill. We went to Heaven Hill recently, or we got invited, I should say, by the wonderful folks down there for a VIP event at the Sip and Smoke event. We went there, met up with a bunch of other whiskey tubers. It was a great and fantastic night. Thank you so much to all the wonderful people down at Heaven Hill for inviting me. Also as well, if you want to go and smoke cigars, drink great whiskeys at Heaven Hill, go and check out the Heaven Hill event page, the Oak and Smoke events, where you can get some great tasting whiskey and pair with some awesome cigars. With that being said, at the end of that event, we were able to get this bottle. So this is the Heritage Collection, and this is the aged 90 years Kentucky Straight Weight Whiskey. Looks a little something like that. So this bottle was about $350 out the door. That's a lot of money, but we only tend to do that once a year. Seldomly will we spend more than $300 bottles on a single bottle. Last year was actually the Heaven Hill 18 that we have in the back there, which is a very exciting bottle. I love wheat whiskey. I'm gonna take a gamble a little bit and say this is probably obviously from Bernheim distillery, and the Bernheim stuff is very, very good. So 19 years old, we'll get into that. Maybe we'll do a review, maybe we won't. We have probably like 20 or so bottles that I'm looking at right now on the table. I think we're set maybe even for the rest of the year at this point. And just as I'm going through all these bottles, and just in the past, the Kentucky trips that I've done, I've been fortunate enough to find some stuff in Kentucky, good stuff too. It begs the question that is it worth me spending so much money at some of these local liquor stores anymore and still chasing to be able to get unicorn bottles that I didn't really get last year. The only bottle that I got was an old Rip 10 that were given away on the lottery. So is it really worth it? Should I just buy the bottles moving forward that I want and then wait until I go down to Kentucky and do really well there? And again, this isn't just me showing up at one store. This is me hitting multiple different stores, talking to different people, finding out the lowdown. So you might get lucky when you're down in Kentucky, you're finding some good whiskey. However, you're still gonna have to put the work in for it. So hopefully you enjoyed this video today. A lot going on. I know we were running quite fast here. And if you like what we do on the channel, definitely hit that subscribe button as we drink through the world's whiskeys one glass at a time. Yeah, any of these whiskeys will do today. Cheers.